Well, hello everyone. Welcome to another video. It is me, Desiree, and I know I've been on a bit of a Costa Farms bashing train lately. I've just been on like a thing about their hanging baskets and how disappointing they tend to be, but I do buy a lot of plants from Costa Farms that I actually like. So I thought today I would feature some plants from Costa Farms that I enjoy. And a lot of their hanging baskets do tend to go south pretty quickly for me, but I do buy a lot of their smaller plants and actually some other hanging baskets here that I'm going to show you that I love. And if you don't know what Costa Farms is, it's a huge, probably the biggest supplier of houseplants to the States, I think. Correct me if I'm wrong, of course, but they, at least where I live, they supply most of the houseplants to Lowe's. Home Depot had never carried Costa Farms before, to my knowledge, until recently. In the last month, about the last month or two, they got a huge shipment of Costa Farms plants, which is kind of cool. So now shopping at Home Depot, you have a little bit more variety, because at least where I live, all the plants for Home Depot were supplied by Mason Farms, which is a farm here in New Mexico. And then Lowe's pretty much is all Costa Farms, Live Trends, and Wild Interiors, but I'm sure there's other ones there that I don't know about. Costa Farms is a huge company. They provide a lot of plants to a lot of plant shops, and hits and misses. Of course, I have a lot of misses with the brand, but I do have some love, so I thought I would just share the love today and show you some plants from Costa Farms that I actually do like. And this isn't even all of them. These are just the few I wanted to feature. So the first one I want to talk about is this Rex begonia. I mean, I'm so glad the camera is going to be able to pick up the color on this. I mean, doesn't it look fake? Doesn't this look like it's made out of fake leaves, like I drew these? I mean, who am I kidding? I can't draw this good. But they're so beautiful. The only thing the camera is not going to pick up is the silver reflect on these leaves. When it's in the right lighting, they just look like they have a mirror finish. It is so beautiful. Did I say this was a Rex begonia? So it's a begonia. And there's this variety called Rex, and they usually all tend to look something like this. They have really cool leaves, really different. I think a lot of them flower. This one is not flowering for me, it never has. And I haven't been a huge fan of Rex begonias because I just don't enjoy the leaf shape a lot of the time. The stems are all long and gangly, like this one kind of is getting. But this one just caught my eye because look how freaking beautiful it is. Just a little stunner. And I really like these plants they have. They're called Wick and Grow. Obviously this one's still in the pot I bought it in. They're called Wick and Grow because they come with a little piece of rope sticking out of the bottom. That way you could just kind of put it in a pot, I guess, with some water, and it'll like wick up the string into the pot. I don't know. I don't really know what that's about. I usually just take it out anyway and water it when I feel like watering it. This is part of their Exotic Angels plants, and I think it's super beautiful. I wish the Rex begonias were in better shape whenever I would buy them, because usually they're kind of jacked up or all the good ones already picked over. So I was kind of shocked to find one this good looking. There are a few leaves on the ends here that need to be cut off, and when I was taking it out today I was like, I should really trim that before I show the video, but I'll trim them off when I feel like it. But I love this plant a lot, and the Rex begonias are usually really good from Costa Farms, if you can find them in good shape anyway. How much time do I got? Okay, I have 14 minutes. I have to leave the house at 12 on the dot, so I gotta stop rambling so much. Okay, the next plant I want to feature is this little stunner. This is a jungle cactus. So I just recently learned the term jungle cactus. I never knew what kind of cactus this was. I just knew it wasn't the typical desert cactus with spines and stuff. I learned it from Ashley Anita, and then one of you guys also left me a comment saying it's a jungle cactus. So this is called ripsalis. Is that what it's called? I think it's called ripsalis. Anyway, I absolutely love this plant. This is one that I completely forgot to talk about in my anti-haul video, where I was talking about never buying another Costa Farms hanging basket because none of them ever do well except pothos. This is one I completely forgot to mention because it's not in the hanging basket anymore, but I did buy this as a hanging basket and it has done great. I repotted it right away. I stuck it in this terracotta pot and it's been in here ever since, and it just grows and grows and grows. But look how cool it is. It's just like this nice little swinging around plant that looks like overgrown grass. It's so cute. This is one I've only seen the one time. I never saw this plant again. This one, unlike its cousin, the desert cactus, this one does need a little bit more water than that one does. I mean, I don't keep it moist or anything. I still let it get completely dry and stay dry until the plant tells me it wants water. And this one is a little tricky because like the leaves, I guess, are so different and small. I can't really see when it's needing water. I do wait for it to get a little tiny bit wrinkled. And then I could just feel that the plant needs water because I touch this one all the time. So I could just feel that it feels a little depleted. It feels a little bit limp, but super easy to take care of. This one can take low light as well as a little bit higher light. I wouldn't put this in like the brightest spot in your house. This one is on my shelf under the skylight, but it's under a couple of plants, so it's not in that direct light like the skylight can usually give, but it's such a beauty. I love this one a lot. Definitely one of my favorite plants I have, and I love this pot that it's in so much. So Costa Farms did a great job with this one, but I also think me repotting it right away and getting it out of that pot that had way too much soil and was way too big for the plant, I think that's really what kind of saved this one for me. But such a beauty. This is one I would highly recommend if you see it in a hanging basket. It's definitely a good choice, especially if you like jungle cactus and just like these weird kind of plants. It's a good one. And then the one over here that was in the way for a minute is my fiddle leaf fig, but this is the bambino version. So it's a little guy and it's not gonna grow those giant leaves like the typical fiddle leaf fig can, like those huge leaves. This one is going to stay a little smaller. So this actually isn't a plant that let me scoot back a little so you can see the whole thing. This isn't a plant that I probably would have purchased on my own because those really big fiddle leaf figs just aren't for me. I feel like they're too big. They don't belong in your house. You know, people call them like divas, but I think it's because it's not meant to be inside in a house, you know what I mean? So I feel like, you know, plants that are meant to be outside and not meant to thrive in the house, we tend to think it's the plant's fault, but I think it's just not meant to grow in your house. But for some reason, this one does so good. So this one, my boyfriend bought this for me from Walmart. It is from Costa Farms. I want to say it was $15 or something, but this thing has grown so much. I mean, it puts out leaves constantly. I can't even keep track of how many new leaves it always has. It put out probably 3 or 4 leaves just recently, like this one here. This one's a new one. This one's a new one. And every single branch that's on here, I think there's 5 branches in here. Every single one of them is always putting out a new leaf, and they're all at the same time. It's just such a beautiful plant. It's nice and bushy. I genuinely have no idea why this plant is alive because I've always heard the fiddle leaf fig is a very finicky plant. But like I said, I think it's because we're trying to grow an outdoor tree in our houses. So it's just gonna be a picky plant, you know? Anyway, so the care for this one, it's still in its nursery pot. I have not repotted it. It's still in the same soil that it's been in. I don't even know how long I've had this, a year maybe? And I actually started writing down. I feel like it's been a year and a half that I've had this, I think. But I haven't repotted it since then. It's still in the same soil. It's in the nursery pot. I'm terrified to repot it because I've just been doing so good with this plant that I don't want anything bad to happen to it. But I feel like it might be time-ish. Like I feel like the soil in here might be depleted of nutrients at this point, but the plant is still growing and doing really well. So I don't know, like I'm very nervous to do anything with it. So I don't do anything with it. I do keep this on my kitchen counter under a skylight. It sits there. It sat there every day since it was brought home. And it obviously loves it there because it does nothing but grow and thrive. So if you have one of these little plants and it's being really finicky for you, find a spot that it loves, preferably with a lot of light, and then leave it there. Don't move it. Don't constantly try to like rearrange it. You know, as fun as it is to rearrange our plants because it really like reignites our love for them. You know, like when you move your furniture and you feel like you're in a new house, moving around your plants can give you that same kind of feeling. There are some plants, just leave them there. And this is one that I would say just leave it when you find a spot that loves it. But I love this a lot and I would totally buy another one if I had another spot that I know it would do well in, but I don't need another one. This one's just gorgeous, gorgeous. Definitely a home run for Costa Farms, and it'll give you that need to get a fiddle leaf fig without having a full grown tree in your house. You know what I mean? You could just have a little guy, and it's so, I love this one so, so much. I genuinely have no idea why it thrives for me so much, but I think it's because I leave it alone. I gotta leave in 7 minutes, and I have 2 more plants to talk about. So the next one I want to talk about is the Marble Queen pothos, and the hanging basket pothoses from Costa Farms are the only ones that really do well for me. Obviously that cactus is doing well too, but I wanted a huge hanging basket of Marble Queen. I just really, really wanted one, and I waited until I found one. They tend to put them out pretty regularly, but you got to kind of happen to get lucky and get there when they unloaded the delivery, because I think this is like one that goes pretty quickly, but it's really, really big. I mean, it's not even really gonna fit all in the frame. Yeah, it will. I did take it out of the hanger. I have it sitting on a table in my front room. I love the way it looks right there. I would like to repot it, but taking it out of the plastic planter and putting it in something a little nicer is gonna make the plant heavier, and it'll be like a whole thing. And I just don't wanna disturb it. I think it looks really good. I can't believe this plant has done so well for me, because Marble Queen is one that I have a relationship with. I just find that variegated plants, they're so tricky sometimes. Some of them are really easy and they need nothing from you, and then some of them you'll never be able to make them happy. But I think this one being bigger, it's been fine, because I've had this plant in smaller ways before, and it's not done well at all. So I just knew that the big one was going to do well, and I love it. I think this is a really good one. Every time I see another one, I want it, because I just have this vision of having like hangers for my ceiling with these long hanging baskets just hanging all the way down to the ground. And this is one I would love to have that way. You know what? I might put the hanger back on here and hang it from the ceiling. I think it looks very cool. But yeah, I love this one a lot. This is one I always want to repurchase. Really easy going plant, just water when it's dry, and that's kind of all I do to it. It definitely needs water right now though. All right, last one. The last one I want to talk about is my lipstick plant. So I had the curly lipstick plant, and that one, he did. But I have this, I don't even know what this is called. Honestly, I've just been calling it the flat leaf lipstick plant. But this one is so good. Every time I water this, it seems like the water is what makes it explode with growth. So every time I water it, a bunch of little pieces like this just start sprouting out everywhere. All of these little pieces are new. It just stands up really tall like this. And I just watered this 2 days ago, I think, so it's nice and heavy. But once I watered it, it just like perks up, and all its little pieces start standing up really tall. I'm kind of shocked that this plant is doing as well as it has, because of the other lipstick plant I bought from Costa Farms, the variegated one. I just did that in a video where I was showing you how awful it looked, and I repotted it. But for some reason, this one just thrives away in the basket that it came in. It's still nice and full. It hasn't completely died back or anything like that. I don't know what it is, but this one has done so well. And every time I see this one for sale again, I always want to buy another one because of how good it looks, how well it does, how beautiful it looks hanging from the ceiling. I look at this one every single day when I walk by, and I'm like, dang, I want this one hanging all over my house. I can just picture it, you know, getting longer and longer and longer. This one seems to do really good kind of anywhere. I've put it in higher light. Right now it's hanging from the ceiling in my living room in, I don't want to say low light, it's just ambient light. You know how when the windows, the sun coming through the windows just lights up your house? It's kind of that kind of light. Definitely nothing high, not even close, but it just seems to really love that spot there. And I think this plant is amazing. So I would go for the flat leaf one over the curly one and over the variegated one. This one just seems to do so much better, way easier, a lot more easygoing, and it seems to be thriving away in the hanging basket as well. So this is an awesome plant, and I think I forgot to mention this one in that anti-haul. This is another hanging basket from Costa Farms that has done really, really well for some reason. I know I'm gonna jinx it now, but this plant just thrives away. Another one I would highly recommend picking up. Not the curly, not the variegated, get the regular one. It's beautiful, and it will just give you so much beautiful love. So yeah, that is it. Those are some of the Costa Farms plants I actually do like. I know I kind of talk trash about them all the time, but you know, Every company is going to have its hits and misses, but Costa Farms definitely has its hits and misses. But these are some of the hits. But that is it. It is 11:59 and I have got to get going. But let me know some Costa Farms plants you have that you love. Let me know the ones you purchase over and over, hanging baskets that you've really loved. I would love to hear from you. Thank you so much for watching this video. If you enjoyed it, don't forget to give it a thumbs up, subscribe so you don't miss the next one, and I will see you later in another video. Goodbye.